Alright, today we have the Kobalt 3/8 drive pro90 stubby flex head ratchet. So you can see this is the packaging, and if you look here, it says made in Taiwan. I just got these online, and this is what the stubby flex head looks like. It is not a locking head. However, the detents are pretty nice and strong, so that feels pretty good. And then it has the quick release. It has the larger lever than the regular ratchets, or the wider lever. Feels pretty good. That's what that looks like. There's that number, which is 337322. It does have a screw for the lever, so that slider definitely depends on how much you tighten that screw. And it has the other two torque screws for the cover. And as you can see, there's the ball bearing in there. So overall, it feels pretty good. Now, one thing I did notice that about this flexible ratchet or stubby ratchet is that it is actually heavier than the regular size ratchet, or this 7 or so ratchet. You see, I forget what this was. I think it's about 7. Let me get that real quick. From the top here to the bottom, yep, it's about 7 inches. Or we can look at it about 180 millimeters in length. So let me put those aside here just to give you an idea of the length. And this is about 1.5 inches longer than the stubby. But yeah, I find that kind of interesting that the stubby is actually heavier than the regular ratchet. So let me give you a close-up look of the levers, as you can see. Now, the reason I want to show you that is because this one is the 3-pack that I bought a while back, or last Christmas, I guess. And this was made in China. However, if you look at the name Kobalt, it is all stamped there, as well as the part number here, which is pretty nice. If you look at the Taiwan made, this one is laser edge, so it looks nice, but obviously who knows how long that's gonna last. And the part number is the same, it's all laser edge. So that's the big difference. And you know, I'm starting to wonder if they really are made in Taiwan or not, but it's kind of hard to say now because of some little differences. Obviously, Taiwan, usually it's a better quality tool, but if you look here, that hole is not quite centered. I mean, it doesn't take away from the function of it, but if you look at it, it's not perfect. So just something to keep in mind. The quick release, it's a little, this button, it's a little lower than the 90. I don't know, I prefer that one, but it still works just the same. Here's a queen socket that I have, just to give you an idea. It doesn't go in there, you have to press it. So far that works fine. It just feels a little low there for some reason. But again, this one's Taiwan, this one is supposed to be China, or it is China. Let's see. So that's the range you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if you count from the bottom, it's 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the range that you get. One thing I just noticed right now, I finally get to use my new T10 torque stand from Craftsman that I just got. This is Taiwan, and the two top screws are T10. Unfortunately, the bottom one is not a T10, so I don't know why they make it different. It'd be nice if they were all the same size, so you don't have to go looking for different torques. However, on the Chinese model here, it's the same thing. the lever, it's smaller. It's not a T10. T10 is the smallest one I got on the screwdrivers. And just to show you even more, on the 1/2 inch T10 on the top, but this one, it's a smaller one. I just found out that the bottom one is actually a T8, which is what I have here. And this one is also a T8. See, look, see, a T8 there. And if I move it, and that's the only problem with this type of lever with the screws on the bottom. It depends on how tight you get that. That's how tight this is going to get, or how loose you're going to have it. Right now it's nice and loose, so it's not a big deal, but I'm going to take this apart so we can look in there and see if it's dry, bone dry, just like the others. And here we go. And the 1/2 inch is the same thing. So I'm not too crazy about that because they don't have a stop where the screw can stop. I mean, except for my Easy Red, so that you can tighten it all the way down and it'll still work. Not on these, actually, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and take a look, see what we got here. Screws not tight, so it does look like it might be pretty dry. So there's a little Loctite there. This one too. Let me get my Loctite before I forget. I think I have a little bit left there. Let's see if I can take this off with this screwdriver. Had to twist it a little bit, but still works, so that's pretty nice. I'm able to do that. And oh, look at that, this one is just like the Easy Red. Let me see if I can get that. There is a stop there. Let me see if I can show you that, where the screw stops, so you can tighten it all the way until it stops, and you're not gonna bind that the switch. And here you go, this is the screw. You can see it. It has the little area there where it will stop. So that is actually pretty nice. I like that. So you can tighten it all the way or put some Loctite. It does have Loctite, but that seems dry. So all right, let's take a look and see what we got. So as I suspected, it's completely dry. There you go. It's got the dual pole. The springs are on there pretty good. Well, they're not off, so I'm not gonna take that apart. I'm just gonna take off the this here. Oh, there's a ring here, so you can see on there. And this is what I like about it. Obviously, is the 90 teeth, and the fact that it does have the quick release. So it is bone dry. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil, just because it's a fine tooth. You don't need to go crazy with this stuff, but I do it just to keep things from rusting out. So that's usually enough there. Put a couple drops in here. Well, I like to just put it all over. And with the oil, it's not gonna slip or hurt anything, or get in the way, since it's very thin oil, machine oil, multi-purpose oil. So far I found this to work, especially on these fine tooth ratchets, so I like that. And that's usually more than enough, so we'll go ahead and do that. And of course I forgot my paper towel. Put that back. Let's put this back, and then we can put the cover back. See, I don't think it'll be a problem, but I'll put a little bit of oil anyway. Well, I have it in my hand already, so go ahead and do that. Couple of drops, and that should look pretty good. I really like that step. That's a nice feature, because you don't have to worry about how tight you put that screw in, so you're not binding it. So I'm glad that they did that. let me get a towel here real quick, just wipe my hand off, and kind of keep going here. And I apologize, I do have a cold as well, and it's pretty one of those nasty colds. They just takes everything out of you. Seems like the colds now are just as bad as everything as the weather changing. They come and they don't want to leave. So okay, my lever's still there, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this screw all the way. Let me get that by hand just to make sure, and now I'm just gonna give it a little more. Okay, this doesn't have a lot of torque on it, but it's plenty to tighten that screw. And as you can see, it's working just fine. It's all the way tight as far as it'll go, but it's not binding, and I really like that. That's just like my easy reds, and I think that's the best way to do this type of setup with the screw on the lever, because it just keeps it at the right working tightness. So that's pretty nice. Let me go ahead and put a little bit of Loctite there and there for the screws. I don't have to hold it because I got the screw there now, so that's perfect. So just nice and snug. I don't need to go crazy with it. And just a little wipe and I'm done. And that's how it sounds. Let's see the other one. Sounds a little more coarse, but not really. But once you put the oil, it just, they do get better. They sound a little better because when dry, obviously you get tiny particles of dirt, so you might hear that. But so far so good. I really like that lever now because it works and it's tight. I know it's not gonna get loose, and I got my thread lock in there, so should work just fine. Now the reason I got this particular flex, it's because, well, I was looking for a stubby, and this one just happened to be on sale, so that's why I grabbed it. So I got pretty lucky on that. So keep an eye on the sales, especially during the holidays. You never know. Excuse me. I think that's pretty much it for the 92 ratchets. I really like the 90 tooth. And also keep in mind, this is just as thick as this one, so it may not go into every little nook and cranny, but I had an area where I was putting in the alternator on my car, on one of my cars, and it was hard to get this one in there, so that's why I'm glad I have this one now. So next time I have to go in there, I'll have something to get in there a little easier. Other than the different size torques, that's, you know, the only thing that it's kind of weird that you have to find two different ones. So I gotta go find. I think they have another Craftsman set of these that is smaller. I didn't know at the time, but this was special. And in case you didn't know, that's my name, Jaime. So I never introduced myself, but there you go. That's me. So that's pretty much it for this ratchet. Looks pretty good. I like it. It is heavier than this one, oddly enough, and just a little shorter, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I mean, it just depends on what you're doing, I guess. But I'm happy with the 90 tooth. So, and for the price, that was a no-brainer really. So that's just one of those things. And actually I gotta thank Catus Maximus. He's the one who was doing the video on the some stubbies, and I just happened to go and look at these because these are the ones I had been looking at before, and lo and behold I found it on special, so I managed to grab that one. So I had to get it online, but because they didn't have it at the stores. But there you go, just one of those things. So I hope that helps.